Welcome back to Readings and Commentary with Insane Sam. The last two readings we've had were by Robert Service, The Law of the Youkon and the Ballad of Blasphemous Bill. Robert Service was a Scottish-born bank clerk who got wound up moving to British Columbia as a bank clerk, then wound up traveling all over the Yukon and writing poetry about it. His first two were the shooting of Dan McGrew and the cremation of Sam McGee, and they're the two that made him famous. And so today we're going to do the cremation of Sam McGee. I like it a little better than the shooting of Dan McGrew. But here we go. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The Northern Lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the marge of Lake LaBarge I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the South to roam around the pole, only God knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way he'd sooner live in hell. On a Christmas day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold, through the parka's fold, it stabbed like a driven nail. If her eyes we'd closed and the lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see, it wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed and the stars o'erhead were dancing heel to toe, he turned to me, and Cap, says he, I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking you won't refuse my last request. Well, he seemed so low I couldn't say no, and then he says with sort of a moan, it's the cursed cold. It's got right hold until I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet 'tain't being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair you'll cremate my last remains. A pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore I would not fail, and we started at the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh and he raved all day at his home back in Tennessee, and before nightfall the corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise I'd given. It was lashed to the sleigh and seemed to say, you may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised me true, and it's up to you to cremate those last remains. Now, a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail is its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, my heart, how I cursed that load. In the long, long night by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring, I howled out their woes in the homeless snows. Oh God, how I loathed that thing. And every day that quiet clay seems heavier and heavier to grow, and on I went, though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened me with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake LaBarge, and a derelict lay there. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum. Then here, said I with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The flames just soared and the furnace roared like a blaze you seldom see, and I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so, and the heavens scowled and the huskies howled and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why, and the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long the snow and I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and they danced ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked. Then the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar, and he wore a smile you could see for a mile, and he said, please, close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm. There's strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The Northern Lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the marge of Lake LaBarge when I cremated Sam McGee. So I hope you've enjoyed these Robert Service poems. He wrote a ton of them. He went on later in life to write poems about World War I, where he was kind of a correspondent. He went on to retire as a wealthy man in Paris, and sat around drinking aperitifs and stuff with the Parisians, and he wrote a whole set of poems about the Parisians, the most notable of which is called The Absinthe Drinkers. In any event, that's the reading for today. These readings come Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on my YouTube channel, which is called the Route 66 Party Guide. I have these readings there and over 100 videos about Route 66. Please go there and enjoy them. Subscribe, get your friends to subscribe. And with that, it's Insane Sam out.